But
now I listened all weekend long. Every game I was a nice.
Hey, you listen to Jerry?
No, well, you know, I mean, I was out and I take the game with me, and everything was going well this weekend. They had a nice win on Friday. Then they had the daytime doubleheader, unbelievable, 18 innings on Saturday.
I watched a little bit of that.
And then yesterday, of course, they're in there, and it's all been overshadowed by Bautista getting tossed in the ninth inning, and it kind of blew away they were going for the sweep, for God's sake, against Texas, who had one of the best records in the AL, and I thought, well, this is a healthy weekend. Unfortunately, the way it turned out, as far as the Jays are concerned. But what did you think? Did you pay any attention? Did you see any of it with Bautista getting tossed?
I saw it afterwards. This guy, there he goes, as you can see underneath this. He's got to stop this. It's hurting him. It's hurting the team. I can tell you the reason he didn't. That first call was a strike is because he's been such a dick about this. I mean, I don't understand how he doesn't figure this out. You know, it tells me he's not a bright guy.
Now, for sure, listening to everything, I will tell you there was a simmering throughout the game, and the broadcasters referred to it several times about Gary Darling behind the plate. This is not new. He had a tight stripe zone. They were talking about how he was squeezing Johnson all the time. They mentioned it over and over and over again. They even said they don't think they like his breaking ball. But all I'm saying is that's what was simmering in the dugout throughout the game. And then, you know, he gets, and the first pitch was borderline low, but in that little box that they show was a strike. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't worth getting all wound up about. You know, and the funny thing. Sorry,
if it was a one-off, I'd say yeah, but it's not.
It's the first time he's been tossed this year. I didn't realize that. I thought there must have been another one, but certainly he's got a reputation with the umpires. Gregg Zaun, as the analyst for the broadcast, for the TV broadcast pre and post, went after the umpires and said, look, they have a responsibility for bearing down in big situations, just like players did. And, you know, it's the heat of the moment. And I think what's more behind it is that Bautista is 7 for his last 49. I mean, that would contribute as well.
Well, look, that's all true, but you have to control yourself because that's not going to help him.
You're exactly
the refereeing in every sport is bad. In Major League Baseball, somehow these guys have taken it upon themselves that they don't want to be shown up. Well, again, I understand it on one level, but on the other hand, you're making calls that impact the game one way or the other. You have to be expected to be called on it. And you know, if what you're saying is true, that they were squeezing Johnson, all of that stuff.
Well, it was, but
then you have to, you know, at some point you have to say, you know, see right there, the umpire should not be getting back in his face.
Yeah.
That should. You ever see the referees in the NHL talking back? The NFL, no, they don't. So they gotta, you know, they have to realize they're not the show.
I'm not sure that the tickets they sold preseason, when they sold all those flex packets, when the hype was at its top before it fell out, were not responsible. But the crowds this weekend were phenomenal. They had 3 crowds in excess of 40,000 for Texas.
Yeah, their crowds.
That's no traveling support.
But that's exactly what it is. No one's going to pay to see this team the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Look, they're terrible. They really are bad, and partially it's injury, partially it's expectations. You know, they're if you think for a minute they're going to get back in this race, do you believe that?
No,
not a chance.